Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning and thank you for joining us this beautiful morning on Saturday Delight. I am Olayinka Ali and
very nice to be here once again. Saturday Delight is the name of the program coming to you live from Western Spring Television. We are transmitting live on channels 190 on StarTimes. Tunde Ido is my name. And Saturday Delight is a program to make sure that it comes up to make sure that you enjoy your very Saturday, as always, with us every time. It's a loaded package for today, and we will be bringing you quite a whole lot. Very shortly, we'll look into the dailies, and I have the Punch newspaper.
I have the Nation paper.
Yeah, you're a lady of the nation. And very shortly, Yinka was in town to put up quite a whole lot with one very great man. He's done quite a whole lot for himself. And how did you find him in the course of the week? Don't tell the world who you're bringing yet.
We went to his gallery.
Okay.
We saw some of his paintings.
Wow.
And
you were amazed.
Honestly, I was fascinated.
We'll bring that to you very shortly. And there's a lady who does some beautiful adire. Wow. We'll talk to you about that. But very shortly after this interlude, when we come back, we'll have our analyst who will look into some of the stories making the round from the dailies this morning. And we'll bring you first guest amid so many other things we have for you. Stay with us. It's still Saturday Delight.
Hiole, King Eve. How are you today?
I'm good, I'm fine, I'm alive.
I really feel like she's not giving the right answer to the question. When one asks you, how are you? And you said, you're saying, I'm alive. It's very annoying, seriously. How are you? I'm fine. I feel I'm fine will be the right answer instead of I'm alive. Not that I asked you if you're dead before.
Go and check all these 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, everybody, they are extraordinarily sexually active.
I feel is being unnecessarily hyper when it comes to the issue of sex, because we talk about other topics and he feels so reserved. He really doesn't have anything much to say when it comes to other stuff. But when it's the issue of sex, I believe he's being unnecessarily hyper. That's when I have to pick an issue with him. I mean, it's just being unnecessarily there when we're talking about sex. Just like a child, his mom just got him his favorite chocolate or ice cream, very happy, doing as though if he doesn't have sex for a day, he's going to die.
When it comes to finance, women also support their husbands financially. You need me emotionally, you need me spiritually.
Nancy is an amazing person, but I hate the too much attachment to that gender. I need you spiritually, I need you mentally. I can get these things anywhere with money. If you go by the topic was, who does marriage favors the most? You know how many jobless women they marry every Saturday? They are saying it favors you, favor. Are they vague so?
Growing up, when I was in the world, we've heard of
Who are you now?
Well, MC Too Much said, he likes saying when I was in the world. And the last time I checked, well, it looks a bit innocent, facially, but deep down, is he actually out of this world? We're all in the world now. As long as you're alive, you're in the world. So, MC Too Much, I beg you to talk about that. I don't want to hear that. Next time you talk about I kiss my words.
I think I have a problem with you saying ladies are champion, and that's the problem. Always trying to attach too much importance to that gender.
it's giving insecurity, it's giving low self-esteem, it's giving a blatant display of egoism. Because at the end of the day, a man who is secure in his words, a man who is confident of who he is, will not really be disturbed as to whether women are being referred to as champions or not. I mean, at the end of the day, Joseph's a really great guy, but whether he likes it or not, women are champions.
Èdè Yorùbá jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ ní agbègbè Niger Congo. Èdè Yorùbá gbajúgbajà ní àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń bẹ ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ó kéré tán, àwọn ènìyàn bíi mílíọ̀nù 14 ló ń sọ èdè Yorùbá lónìí. Ètò akọ́mọlédè ló ń dé sójú ìwòran yín láti iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán WSTV ìkànnì 150 channel 190 lórí StarTimes. Folúṣọ́ Ayaolúwagbémiga, ìyá ìjọ pèdèpèdè, ìyá akọ́mọlédè ló kọ tèmi. Yorùbá dùn púpọ̀, Yorùbá ò lè kú, Yorùbá ò lè parun. Tiwa làṣà, tiwa lèdè, tiwa nìṣẹ̀ṣe akọ́mọlédè.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
All right, thank you for being there. Saturday Delight is still what you are viewing on StarTimes channels 190 on Western Spring Television. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's begin this morning. We have quite a whole lot of stories making the round from the different papers that I have with me here. I have the Punch newspaper with me, and Yinka still has the Nation. Let's just look at some headlines making the rounds, but we like to welcome our in-house analyst. He's a proprietor, he's a politician, he's an architect as well. It's a pleasure having architect Goke Omigbodo in the house with us this morning. Good morning.
I'm happy to be on Western Spring Television.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's just look at some of these stories making the rounds. Federal government to sanction FIRS, NNPC, and other MDAs for backdoor recruitment. This is in line with the fact that they've been saying backdoor recruitment. This is something that is not going down well with the federal government at this point in time. But would you say the federal government is just realizing this, that it's this last minute before this administration winds up?
I don't think the federal government is just realizing it. It's been there all along. When you talk of government, you are talking of people that constitute the government. And it's the same people that must have been involved in this backdoor recruitment because somebody like me, who is not a public servant, would not be involved in backdoor recruitment. But it's understandable the president is like trying to look very good these days. That's why he would also lash out at governors about taking on
local government funds.
No, don't say still.
Oh, that's the language you used. That's the language you used.
Taken from the funds of local government authorities and all that. So I think it's okay that at least the federal government is trying to look good now. What ought to have been done all along, if it's still done right now, it's all right. But like I always believe that issues like this should not be treated with this ostrich gesture approach, whereby you bury your head in the sand and you think nobody can see you, but the entire body, which is actually a lot bigger than the head, is being seen by everybody. So who is federal government? Is it not the people that constitute that government, the ruling party, and the top public servants in those agencies? But let them stop it. At least that will be good news for us if it is stopped.
All right.
On the Nation, police discontinue case against students arraigned for making false claim against Buhari's wife.
Well, the interesting thing about that is many people may be surprised that I would say that, for starters, the right of that young man stopped at poking at the nose of the First Lady. Because the First Lady also has a right, and because that she's the wife of a public figure, I don't know if within our constitution she's herself a public figure, then she should be subjected to ridicule and all those kinds of situations. That's bad enough on the part of that young man. And well, if somebody complained and there was a law to handle the situation, and the law was going to take its course, and perhaps on the intervention of the First Lady, the police is now reversing itself on it. I think I would straight away give kudos to this First Lady for acting like a good mother. And it will surprise you that there are a lot of Nigerians, I am one of them, that admire the First Lady in spite of not believing in any capability of the president himself.
All right, because of this, the speed at which INEC offices is being burnt down, we saw what transpired in Ogun State. So many PVCs burnt. We saw what happened in our dear state here, Osun State, a couple of weeks ago. Now, Imo State, it's been pathetic that such things is happening more in the southeast. Here again, it's occurred. What does this portend for the 2023 general election?
I am not sure it's happening just more in the southeast. It's just started happening in the southeast. Osun is not southeast.
No.
Ogun is not southeast.
We've had these experiences in the southeast.
And if we've had these experiences in those few locations in the past few weeks, is it not that the security agencies and INEC itself ought to have tightened security around their installations, their offices, and their locations, so that people will not just be able to walk in and start throwing petrol bombs around to burn the places down? And we need to appeal to our citizens. The things that we are burning are those things that were done with the money of the state.
Absolutely.
So it's the state money that we are burning. A little digression. Please allow me this digression. I was in Calabar just this last week for the annual general meeting of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. So I said they should take me to Tinapa. And what I saw there, I was almost literally weeping.
Wow.
Because I could see what was put there, and the people went there, looted the entire place, and you know, the place is a ghost of itself now. Such a huge beauty that we should all have been proud of, not just in Cross River State, but the entirety of Nigeria, reduced to nonsense now by people who went to loot the place, broke all the glasses, stole a lot of things. And you know, so if that is happening in such places and still happening in INEC offices, pray, with whose funds will those things be replaced? Is it not our funds?
Absolutely.
So please, let's, as we ask security agencies to tighten their belt and make sure that they guard all those locations the more, let's also appeal to our people. Please stop this arson. It's not good for us as a people.
All right, now, the Inspector General of Police challenges arrest and imprisonment order by court. What do you think?
Well, the Inspector General of Police, as far as I know, in fact, there's also another one concerning the Chief of Army Staff. And when I saw those things, honestly, I laughed within myself. I said, in Nigeria, who is going to enforce these things? You know, who is going to go to the Chief of Army Staff to enforce it? Who is going to the Inspector General of Police is it one of the military police officers that will arrest the Chief of Army Staff? Or is it one of the regular police officers that will arrest the Inspector General of Police? Well, the truth is that in other parts of the world, those arrests will be effected because the institutions are strong there. But here we don't have strong institutions, and even the Inspector General of Police is too big. If you say you want to arrest a DPO and you are not strong enough with some state backing, believing that that DPO must actually have offended the state, you are joking. You will not be able to do it. So we should make sure that the rule of law stands the more, and whatever contempt that those officers would have committed to have made the judges to make those pronouncements should also be, what language do I say now? Should be discouraged. I mean, they should be chided for doing such things, and they should be told not to do such things again. You are holding public office in trust for the people. And so then you should not do anything that will warrant the law courts saying that you are running into contempt.
All right, you got any other thing?
Yes, let's discuss this. 15 judges under probe for alleged misconduct.
Judges, it's becoming erratic. Those who should administer law are now being arrested. A couple of years ago, we saw what happened where EFCC operatives were picking up judges.
Was it EFCC or DSS?
DSS, beg your pardon. DSS picking up judges. And this are the set of people we have constituted powers to administer law. And where is that law?
Well, the judges are part of the citizenry. They are our brothers, sisters, cousins, and friends. What kind of society do we have? If we have a kind of society that believes a lot in bribery and corruption, selling and buying of votes for people to emerge as governors, then as legislators, and you have three arms of governance. The judiciary is the third one. So the head is virtually corrupt. The neck is rotten. So what are you expecting of the shoulders? So the judiciary, which should ordinarily be the shoulders, are also not as upright as they should be. It may interest you that some lawyers were just discussing casually. They didn't know I was eavesdropping on them. And they were mentioning a particular judge in a particular state, that it's only in his court that you can get true judgment without bribery in one particular state. I'm not going to mention the name of the state. And that they say it's only that particular judge. They mentioned the name of the judge, mentioned the name of the court, you know, and I was eavesdropping on them, and I said, wonderful. So you mean in any other court than the court of this judge? And in that state, they must have like 17, 18, I don't know how many judges that they have there, and we can speak of only one being upright, at least according to the testimonies of those lawyers. So there's a fire on the mountain.
Amazing. I can say, okay, it's always a pleasure having you, either on radio or here on WSTV. And we hope subsequently on a larger scale, I know we'll have time to discuss quite a whole lot of other things.
It will always be my pleasure. You know, I am idle now because I am not doing what I thought I wanted to do. I wanted to be governor.
Let's see, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
It's all right.
It's still Saturday Delight coming to you from Western Spring Television, and definitely we have quite a whole lot. By tomorrow, it's going to be 8 days where a new administration took over the existence of governance in our dear state, Osun State. Very shortly, we'll bring you up to speed ever since the creation of this great state. 31 years minus your age. Okay, don't let me expose you. We'll bring you up to speed as to who and who have governed our dear state before we bring in our next guest on the program. Please stay with us. Saturday Delight is the name of the program.
Evelyn Ohiole, King Eve. How are you today?
I'm good, I'm fine, I'm alive.
I really feel like she's not giving the right answer to the question. When one asks you, how are you, and you said,